and you can quote this on me. There is no way the Orioles or Red Sox make the playoffs this season. Yeah, yeah. There's no way. There's no way.
I set the bar really low at the NBA predictions.
I don't think all Mavs fans look into the stats like I do.
It's not the great value Target brand toilet paper or whatever. It's the Charmin Ultra Strong.
I don't know if Nick Nurse is the coach for the Raptors. I don't know if he's the reason why they won the 2019 championship. I feel like that was more of a team effort.
The Mavs cannot say we do not miss Seth Curry shooting threes.
This questions the firing of Dwayne Casey, who I think is a very underrated coach.
To me, the Capitals really pushed all their chips for this season.
Hello, I'm Mike Grimes, and you've been listening to Outsiders Opinions with Kevin and Austin.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to our NFL Opinions of the Week. This one is a follow-up, as we did post the day of. This was the Bears. This, of course, is about the Bears and the man whose team will be facing the Bears this upcoming weekend, Austin.
Yeah, we discussed whether or not the Bears should make a change at head coach, but they already made a change now with their OC. And I do think there's a question: how much does this affect Caleb? Like, would it affect Caleb more if it was the same OC, different head coach, or same head coach, different OC?
Yeah, and to me, that's something that was the stance I took, was you want to keep continuity. And I would say this does upset the continuity. And the question goes into do you think Shane Waldron's offense was causing more harm to Caleb than getting rid of him would? And I'm really debating that right now. What stance do you take, Austin?
I don't know if I have an answer right now. I have to see, again, the DJ Moore situation with him not finishing routes. What's happened both on offense and defense with how the team's kind of fighting with itself, and the implosion that's occurred since they faced Jaden Daniels and the Washington Commanders. So I don't think I know yet. I do think that Shane Waldron may have been scapegoated in this case. But I don't know. Is DJ Moore going to actually start running routes now just because Shane Waldron's gone is the question I ask.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. And this happened the day before we posted our video about Eberflus, which still calls into question. And I'm looking at, we of course talked about DJ Moore, but there are also quotes from Keenan Allen saying the Waldron was too nice into the lead up to the 2024 season. So it looks like maybe other players were uninterested with Waldron, but I do agree. To me, he's the scapegoat because they lost 3 in a row. The offense had not performed well. And so to me, this is kind of inspiring. This is the attempt to inspire the team to get out of this rut by firing someone in it. And they were struggling, but to me, he's the scapegoat of, our offense isn't doing well. Well, we're going to fire Shane Waldron.
Yeah, I don't know necessarily if this is going to change anything. We're going to have to wait and see. I mean, I still think they have major issues with team morale and how the locker room is based. I don't think that can be changed with firing a coordinator.
Yeah, that's a great point. And so as I'm looking at it, I don't think this hurts Caleb Williams too much, because it is someone in that same system. They're going to keep it that way. But I do think hopefully Shane Waldron had a goal. I think you have to have a goal when you have a rookie QB, and just what steps do you want him to take? But we'll have to see what happens. Looks that Thomas Brown will take over for Shane Waldron as an interim offense coordinator.
Do you think this change will be made or is going to result in positive for Caleb Williams and this Bears offense, or is it going to stay somewhat the same, and then that means that Matt Eberflus is next up?
I'm going to say this is a minor. I think they'll perform better this week because it's a new offense and defenses haven't really seen it. But I do think with this firing happening, it is kind of going more to the idea of Matt Eberflus gets fired after this season.
Yeah, I agree.
And another thing I wanted to mention is that I thought Waldron had been with the Seahawks with Geno Smith, but it looks like Waldron was with the Seahawks in 2021. He replaced Brian Schottenheimer. And then it was Dave Canales who took over for. So this kind of goes into the question that he was 3 years off. I thought he was coming from right under Pete Carroll last season, but it looks like he had 3 seasons off.
Yeah, he did have 3 seasons off, and that can, I think, affect it. But like you said, you have to have a plan with a rookie quarterback, and I do think he did. It's just we're going to find out whether or not he was getting scapegoated or if he actually was the problem for this Bears team.
Yeah, and to me, what would answer that question of he was the scapegoat or wasn't the scapegoat?
Say again.
What evidence proves that he was the scapegoat and what disproves that he was the scapegoat?
Well, if the offense goes back to what it was before the Commanders game and they can get stuff going, like because the Jaguars game that they had in London, that really showed their potential. Roma Dunze was really into the game, and they really blew out a Jaguars team that obviously has struggled, but the Bears looked really good. If they can't do that, if they just regress back to what it was this past couple of weeks, then I would say that Shane Waldron was the scapegoat and that he was not the reason for their pitfalls.
Okay. Yeah, to me, even if they score well against the Packers this week and maybe even the week after that, I would have to see continued success. It doesn't have to be blowing everyone out, but it's being able to sustain drives. I would say I really liked what their offense looked like in the fourth quarter against the Commanders when they were running the ball and they just couldn't quite get it through. Well, they did get it in the fourth quarter, but in that second half. So to me, it has to be a continued success. It can't just be a one-time thing because I'm sure there's going to be the thing, oh, it was the right move if they play well against the Packers. To me, it has to be the whole season, and we'll have to see at the end of the season. And if they play really well, then that would save Eberflus, I think. But it's really hard to tell, and it looks like it's really you blame the coordinators before the head coach gets fired himself. So that's kind of my worry. Any final thoughts on that?
No, I do think it's going to be more of a long-term, like you said, not just this week or next week. It's going to have to be long-term improvement from the Bears for them to prove that this was the reason why they were performing poorly. So, yeah.
All right. That is all we have for this episode. Let us know your thoughts. We do have some other videos coming out. And make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, also on Twitter and Instagram for all that. Thank you for listening to Outsiders Opinions.